Hello, welcome to The Being. You can call me Jin. I just needed to vent a little on the topic, and I thought that if I could get at least one person to watch my video, it would make my day. So, here it is. My biggest issue about this gender identity era we're living in is about where we can draw the line. While I don't deny the existence of actual phenomenon involving gender dysphoria and other related psychological issues, and even though I try to let people do their thing, I feel like common sense will not let us ignore the belief that the topic is gaining a lot of traction because of adult children who just want to feel special. I strongly believe that the special snowflakes is a real issue. There's a big debate about whether there are more than two genders out there, and it makes these people who have some sort of an identity crisis lose their mind. And even though there's people who genuinely have to face those hardships, we keep on hearing people complain about their identity not being taken seriously. And who is to blame here? Is our society not accepting enough of those people? Could be. It is true that our society needs to be much more open-minded when it comes to accepting the different kinds of people out there. But when we have all those new identities shoved up our throats, at some point, we're gonna have to draw a line. But the problem here is we are trying to draw the line where the least possible amount of people are gonna end up being offended. And while it is a kind and respectful approach, it does not make sense. There is a real line that has to be drawn somewhere, and it needs to be identified clearly where the answer matches the current factual amount of genders out there, or at least discovered. If an extra gender wants to be added to the list, we need to verify the authenticity of the gender beforehand, or we're going to end up exactly where we are right now, at a loss of control. There's male and female, so far so good. So we add the gender queer and the gender fluid and the gender neutral. We all heard of them. All of those are now allowed to ask for their own pronouns to be respected, or it can get you in trouble and you suddenly become discriminatory. Let's add weather gender and the love gender and emotion gender. What are those? I don't know. If one truly feels like they are a part of those genders, are they allowed to ask for a specific pronoun to be used for them? How does it work? Let's make people get in trouble for not acknowledging those genders as well. It's all about respect and open-mindedness, right? But do these genders actually mean something? Now let's add the fuck gender and the iron gender and disaster gender. Are they a thing? I don't know. Can they have their known pronouns? If you say no, are you being logical or discriminatory? But we're open-minded. We have to say yes, don't we? We're gonna get in trouble otherwise. But if we say yes to those two, okay, then now we want to identify as screwdrivers, a wizard, why not a fucking McNugget? Hey, but the previous genders got their own pronouns, why can't we? Some might say we're trying to be funny, we're trying to push the limits by being ridiculous. So what makes a gender acceptable or not? Is it about how common it is? It is common for people to go to the gym, and yet we don't call them gym genders, do we? So clearly, that can't be it. Okay, so is it an appearance thing? Let's put everyone in a room, same posture, shave all their heads, remove their clothes, and try to define their genders. Can you spot the gender fluid, the gender queer, or the disaster gender? I think I know the answer, but I'm gonna get in trouble for saying it. I'm not sure, so there's gotta be something else to it, right? So let's make another test. Let's make some combination and evaluate their offsprings. So we have a fertile genderqueer and a fertile gender fluid here, and they're gonna go have sex, and when they get pregnant, we'll give it a closer look. What's that? We're at a loss now, aren't we? Is it the genderqueer or the gender fluid that's gonna carry the baby? What do you mean it depends? What does it depend on? We only identify the people here as their gender identity, which is what they want. And when we are confronted with their biological functions, we can only face a "it depends." Sorting them with their gender identity cannot give us any lead on which one is going to carry the baby. Hell, even if we know for a fact that they are fertile, we can't even tell if they can have a baby at all. So when I ask about someone's gender, what I want to know is their biological function. I'm not asking you about their fantasy identity, whichever makes them feel better about themselves. Am I not allowed to be heterosexual and want to know about who I have the potential to mingle with and find it enjoyable? Am I not allowed to be homosexual and want to know among you who might also be looking for a partner have the appendage that makes me enjoy sex? Am I not allowed to be bisexual and not have to expect a surprise when we get into bed together? Some say it's a different topic, and even though I would like to agree, sometimes through the frustration of having this unnecessary conversation about genders, we end up asking, well, okay, but do you have a penis or not? And their answer is, well, that's not important. At this point, they're just holding the information for the sake of force-feeding us their agenda. Some are going into this because they want the freedom to dress in a gender-specific manner, or have gender-specific roles without it being the identification of their gender. So a person will want to use or wear something regardless of what gender the product was intended to, whether it is makeup, clothing, toys, or even a color palette. And because of this, they will call themselves gender fluid, non-binary, agender, or whatever gender that does not associate exclusively to a male or female. And while it is a valuable thought process to not want to use only one gender-specific product, it does not justify going for a new gender. If you are a male that likes to wear girl clothes, the only thing it makes you is a male that likes to wear girl clothes. If you are buying into the fact that you have to identify as something else because of what you want to decide to wear, it means that you, of all people, attribute gender-specific product to a certain gender. You are the only one to blame for the association if you felt the need to create the dissociation. I myself am someone who loves feminine things. I sometimes decide to wear a nail polish, sometimes even makeup and stuff. So I actually looked into it, and I can personally confirm that on my girl clothing, beauty products, whatever, nowhere does it ever say for female use only. They are advertised for females in mind because they are the most susceptible to buy these products. But there's no police out there making sure that only female uses them. So just own yourself and accept the fact that you are allowed to keep your gender regardless of what you do or say. So basically, the message that I'm trying to convey here is that you are allowed to do what you want to do and think the way you want to think. If you want to go around saying that you are a peanut butter gender, we don't give a shit. You do you. But having a regulation about the fact that us, people who don't want to be involved in what makes you feel special, have to address you the way you want to or else we get in trouble is just socially backwards. And it is slowly taking away our right to have our own beliefs and social behaviors in favor of protecting everyone's feelings. In the end, those pronouns and gender identities and stuff are just words, and you decided to let mere words affect your life more than any bully ever could. You're bullying yourself around all those topics, for God's sake. We're just trying to have the freedom to talk about what we want to talk about without having someone saying, oh, you didn't address to me the way I wanted you to, so fuck you, I'm gonna get you in jail, for God's sake. That's the real problem out there. If you could just go around and do your thing and call yourself whatever you want to be called and let us not care about it, there wouldn't be a problem about it. Of course, there would still be people out there bullying you, but they wouldn't be bullying you for that. They would bully you just because they are bullies. That's what bullies do. They find some flaw somewhere that they want to use as an advantage to bully you, and they're going to bully you on that. So it doesn't matter what you are or what you do. They're going to find a reason to bully you. So if you set these people aside, the rest of us that don't give a shit are going to leave you at it. Call yourself what you want to call yourself, and I'm going to call you for what you are. The sad part in all of that is that we, the people who don't want to be involved with your fantasies, are the ones suffering because we don't even have the right to disagree with you, or otherwise we get censored, we get fired, antagonized, and in the end we are the one who get broken by your newfound standards about people's identities and stuff. Fundamentally, there are only two genders, and the only thing they do is define whether or not we can be together depending on my sexual orientation. Any other definition you give it is your doing, and we shouldn't have to be involved in your desire to feel special. But hey, watch me get in trouble for sharing this. Free speech, am I right? Thank you.